say. I've been getting speakers for a couple of years for our club, and there have been different ways we've gotten them. This one was kind of unusual. Anna Manwaring had read his book, My Name is Will, and she loved it, and she sent him an email. And the fact that he doesn't live in Sonoma County or even in the North Bay is sort of like, he actually lives in Southern California, and he's willing to come up because he has family in the area, and you know, we live in a gorgeous area too, and he's doing research for a novel in Sonoma, so it kind of dovetailed together, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to schedule this when his book came out in trade paper, which was last month. My Name is Will, so Anna had read it in hardcover, and Jess is a very interesting writer because he's not just a novelist, he also has been a playwright, and I have seen his play produced at least, I think, 3 times in 3 different venues. And if any of you have seen the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged,
Yes.
It's funny as hell. It's really great, and it has 3 actors that do the entire works of William Shakespeare, and yes, a lot of it is condensed. And you read just the rest of his bio here, which the premiere was at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe in 1987 and became, yes, an international sensation, especially in Sonoma County. I've seen it, like I said, at least 3 times, and leading to multiple world tours and engagements. He has also spent 10 years writing and producing award-winning cartoons for Disney. And he left 3 years ago to write this, his first novel, which is My Name is Will, a novel of sex, drugs, and Shakespeare.
Thank you very much for the fantastic introduction, and thanks to all of you who have spend money to see our play. It keeps me being able to do things like writing novels and slinging coffee at Starbucks. Not that there's anything wrong with slinging coffee at Starbucks. I slung coffee myself for about 10 years before I became a playwright and a novelist. Let me first of all thank Linda McCabe and the entire Redwood Writers group for having me up here. It's a rare treat to be able to come to Sonoma County. I do have loads of family here, so it was an easy choice for me to make the trip up. I have my sister-in-law and nephew and a couple of great nephews in the audience, and it's swell to see some familiar faces in the crowd. Thank you for coming. I also have, my dog is here. He's wearing the tie, if you want to say hello to him. That's Orson, and also a fantastic treat that we called Copperfields this morning. I'm traveling with the dog, and I'm like, is it okay if we bring the dog? Is there somewhere outside we can tie him up? They said, oh, we're pet friendly, we have treats. What's his name? So thanks to Copperfields for that. Orson wore his tie in honor of the this is the second go-round I've done on book tours for this book, and the first time around I did the sort of standard author's presentation and read some chapters and talked about my influences and my writing process and so forth. But this is for the trade paperback. It's my second time around, and Linda told me that this was going to be a group of writers, so I might want to do something a little different and a little fun, see if I could find a different angle on it. So it's true that I am from Hollywood. I live in the Hollywood Hills right now. I spent some time in the Hollywood TV and film industry. And so I came up with a little presentation which I call Why Hollywood is Not Evil. The influences of film and television on the writing of My Name is Will. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading later, but I'm going to blab for a little bit first. Fair warning, there will be some reading eventually, but first I'm going to talk. So about Hollywood, you know, according to the former governor of Alaska, Hollywood is the source of all of our problems. You know, apparently we in Hollywood are an anti-hunting, anti-Second Amendment circus. Sarah Palin claims that we in Hollywood use, and I quote, these delicate, tiny, very talented celebrity starlets.
Oh, yeah.
They use Alaska as a fundraising tool for their anti-Second Amendment causes. Now, I personally take issue with that remark. While I won't deny that Paris Hilton could stand to eat a sandwich, I would not call her very talented. But unfortunately, it is not just the McCains and Palins and Bushes and Falwells of the world who decry Hollywood. Some people, even amongst the intellectual literary community, probably some in this room, will say things like, oh, Hollywood films are crap. Or, I don't own a TV, I don't let my kids watch TV. Of course, some of these same people have no problem plowing through the entire first season DVD of Weeds or Desperate Housewives unseen, but they will decry television. And to a certain extent, that's understandable in these times with a different publishing house or an independent bookstore or a small press going out of business every week. It's understandable for the literary community to be wary of Hollywood. But I think to a certain extent it's unfair. The influence of Hollywood on all of our lives and our collective creative consciousness has been extraordinary. It certainly has on mine. Does anybody remember a show from the early 90s, one of the first cable shows to curse and show full nudity, a show called Dream On? Anybody remember that? Yeah. It was a terrific show about a guy who was a TV baby. His mom planted him in front of a television, and throughout his whole life, every single incident, every romantic encounter, everything that happens in his life, he relates to a clip from an old television show. Now, you know what's interesting about that? Does anybody remember what Brian Benben's character's job was in that show? Yeah, he was a book editor in New York. He was a book guy trying to escape from this television past that was in his head, that was haunting him. And I can thoroughly relate to that because I was a TV baby. I spent 6 to 8 hours every day of the week in front of a television, and the shows are different. In my head, I have The Brady Bunch, I have All in the Family, I have MASH, I have Mary Tyler Moore, I have South Park. That's my current. And all of my most vivid visual memories are from Hollywood movies, whether it's the battleship coming over into screen in the first shot of Star Wars, or attacking the castle in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I personally associate the birth of Jesus not with the Bible, but with Life of Brian. And the first R-rated movie that I actually ever saw when I was 13 years old, far too young, was A Clockwork Orange. Yes, those scars are still healing. But these things, as much as anything else, have shaped my visual and artistic and certainly my storytelling consciousness. And it certainly informs My Name is Will, a novel of sex, drugs, and Shakespeare.